Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Let's Have Some Beer. This time we're visiting you from the beach.
Yes, we are in Newport Beach, California, and we're visiting the only brewery here in the city, Helmsman Alehouse. Woo. Now, Dylan Mobley is their head brewer, and he's a friend of mine. I've known him since his Bottle Logic days, and he invited us out to try their beer. They've been open for just under a year, so we're excited to check it out. Jacob, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's have some beer.
I'm Dylan Mobley, head brewer here at Helmsman Alehouse.
Okay.
So I think what really sets us apart from other breweries in Orange County is we have an amazing food program. We are a brew pub, so we do have a full bar. You can come here, you know, if people aren't beer fans, there's plenty of other options. We've got wine, we've got ciders, we've got cocktails. Something that's been really unique for me that's been fun has been working alongside the chefs. We have kind of a head chef who he manages a few different properties for the owners, Zach Shearer. He and Drew have implemented a really fun food program, and so I'm always trying to brew the beers to make sure that I always want to make the best beer possible, but then also making sure that each style can kind of pair well with other menu items, and then doing really fun variants with like weekly food specials. Like we're doing new wings every couple weeks on Wednesdays. But my go-to beer after a long shift, definitely a Pilsner, just a good crisp Pilsner. If you're thinking about visiting Helmsman Alehouse, definitely come down. I mean, the Newport Peninsula is just a great place to come anyway. Come have lunch with us, go walk on the pier down at Balboa, and come see what we're doing here. All the beers are turning out really good. We serve directly off the serving tanks.
Helmsman Alehouse took over Newport Beach Brewing's old spot right next to the pier. The owners rebranded it as a place that belongs at the beach. The theme is nautical, if you couldn't tell, with a strong emphasis on beer. These tanks are brand new and nestled right next to the bar. And the branding here looks fantastic. Look at these tap handles. If you have friends that aren't fond of beer, they have a fully stocked bar. Now, when we arrived, Dylan had just started setting up for a new beer he's brewing, a session IPA with, if I'm not mistaken, Citra, Mosaic, and Amarillo. He brews on an older system, but with a pro like this at the helm, you wouldn't know. Dylan hopes this beer will bring cautious beer drinkers closer to embracing IPAs while providing a refreshing beer to drink when the sun is out. Now our beer's finally poured, so it is time to get tasting. Alright guys, so my first beer of the day is going to be their Newport Blonde Ale. This is a 4.7% blonde. This is really like a crowd favorite here at Helmsman. We are right by the beach, so these lighter, more sessionable beers probably are going to be what most people are aiming for. To be honest with you, in a world full of hazies, it's been a while since I've had a blonde ale, at least with no adjuncts in it. So let's give it a shot. Cheers. It's actually got a lot of body for 4.7%. I'm quite surprised. The finish is pretty crisp. I would want it a little bit crisper. I've been drinking a lot of lagers and stuff though lately, so maybe that's what I'm looking for. But I would say somebody who, doesn't need a crazy beer with all these funky adjuncts, just want to enjoy a nice, soft, light blonde ale, this would be a good go-to.
Alright guys, so we have a beer called Whaler's Wit, which if you know me, I can't not do a beer called Whaler. Anything. Although you could be argued that they're not talking about whales, they're talking about the people that kill whales. But anyways, regardless, we're drinking Whaler's Wit, which is a 4.6% wit beer. I really don't drink them as often as I used to because they don't get made as often as I remember them being made. So, cheers. Yeah, that's that wit smell. It's so sharp to me. I don't know, it's very distinctive. I really would like to do a blindfold thing soon because I feel like the smell of a wit beer is just so distinct. Like, what else is it? Yeah. That's easy drinking. I mean, that's... Oh, that's like thirst quenching. That's the definition of hot summer day. You want something to quench your thirst. There's no real bitterness to it. It's got a nice like fruity estery quality to it. I mean, it's a wheat beer. You guys, you know, this is through and through. No flaws, no, it's crisp, clean, whaley.
All right, so the next beer up actually has a really beautiful color. This is called Siren Song. It is a sour Berliner Weiss with raspberries. I love raspberries. I actually brewed a wit beer last spring with raspberries in it. And I gotta say, this color, it's just one of my favorites. But let's see how it pans out, shall we? Cheers. Oh. That's good. That's real good. There is a lot of raspberry in here, and the good news is that is a great thing. Even on the nose, I'm picking up raspberry. It's light, it's inviting, but it's just like ready to burst on your taste buds. Then you dig in, and it does burst on your taste buds. The one thing I like about this is it's actually got a really mellow body. It doesn't overwhelm your palate. It's highly drinkable. Now, I don't know if I mentioned, but this is 5.9%. I'm really surprised because for a Berliner Weiss, that's more on the higher end. And it doesn't taste like 5.9%. I could imagine that if you guys came here, you know, spent a day at the beach and then had a couple of these, you'd be feeling real good and you wouldn't even know it was coming. This is fantastic.
All right, guys, so the beer I'm going to be trying is Romiel Saison. What a surprise. This one is Saison 2020. It is a 6.5% farmhouse Saison. Yeah, get in me. Cheers. That's that classic, like, American Saison smell that I haven't actually had in a while. And I miss it, because that was probably the style that got me into beer, like those Belgians, American Saisons. This is the smell I remember. Oh. So for me, that's thirst quenching. Not for everyone. But if you love those beers with that real yeast forward, super estery, fruity character, the grain isn't super malty. It's got a nice that cereal kind of crackery thing going on, but like the yeast really takes over. If that's the kind of beer you drink, Saison 2020 from Helmsman. Like, I'd crush some cans of this. If y'all can it, shit.
They actually offer crowlers.
Oh, they do crowlers. That's good enough for me.
So this next beer up is called the Helmsman Hazy IPA. This is a 6.5% hazy. Haze Bros, just so you know, they got hazies here at Helmsman, so it's a reason to come down. This is 40 IBUs. It's not like that thick, murky kind of look, but it's definitely not transparent at all. Let's go ahead and give it a shot, see how it tastes. Ooh. You know, if I'm being totally honest, I've kind of fallen out of the haze craze a little bit. I'm not as into it as I used to be. I typically am reaching for something more sessionable. This, my friends, is fantastic. Whereas of late, I feel like a lot of hazy beers just taste like straight up hop pellets. Like you just get that like film on your tongue. This is actually very light, very crisp. And then the hops, I don't know what hops he's using in here. To be honest, I can't point them out specifically. But it tastes like juicy fruit gum. It's fantastic, super delicious. I think this one might be my favorite of the day.
So, trying all these lighter beers had to go to something a little bit darker. This is going to be Caribbean Winter, which is a 6% porter. Oh wow! Ooh, it hits you with a good there's a good pop of that roast toastedness, but then it immediately I smell this that sweetness you get from some stouts and porters. It just comes in like that, like a double layer, and I'm imagining it's probably going to taste exactly like that. Whoa! Oh, I like that. This is a little bit more complex than I thought. It's fun. It is much creamier in mouthfeel than I was thinking it was going to be, and that's definitely a plus. There's almost a spice character to it. I can't really put my finger on what exactly it is. I'd drink a pint of this. Yeah. I might have to call Jeff in for this because there's some sort of spicy note to it. I can't nail, and he does a better job of that.
All right, let's give this a shot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like a star anise or something.
But
cinnamon. It's cinnamon.
See, I didn't want to say cinnamon, but that makes sense.
It's cinnamon.
I still didn't want to call it cinnamon. I don't know why.
We'll ask Dylan to know for sure, but that's cinnamon. The roastiness kind of masks it a little bit.
Yeah, I guess maybe
But
the
it's
last
there.
beer I had,
that's
the
good.
cinnamon was so punchy and sweet that I did kind of really pull me away from it. And this one doesn't do that, so I didn't think it was cinnamon. My brain just didn't make that click. I'm enjoying this porter. This is really tasty. Cheers.
All right, and the last beer up is another IPA, but guys, this one's clear. This is a West Coast. This is called West Coast Offense. It's a 6.1%, 75 IBU IPA. I actually really like this amber color. It's been a while since I've seen some amber IPA. Sierra Nevada may be the only one on the West Coast that I've really noticed is still putting stuff like this out. But anywho, I'm thirsty. The bitterness sounds great. It is my last beer, so let's do this. Oh. So when we were talking to Dylan earlier, we were asking him, what kind of beer styles he likes to brew, which kind of beers does he like to drink. And one of the things he was really passionate about was IPAs, and you can definitely taste the difference in his IPAs. This hop utilization is fantastic. It's coating my palate beautifully. There's a great mixture of bitter, citrus, piney, dank. It's all there and it all blends really well. The body's not overwhelming. Jacob wants to try some. It's quite delicious. I gotta say, Helmsman, you guys definitely gotta brew some more IPAs. There's something here, and especially just learning Dylan's brew process and just how carefully he pays attention to his ingredients. You can taste it in this beer. It's wonderful.
So we were talking to Dylan earlier, and he kind of prefaced this beer with oh, it's a little bit more malty than you guys might be used to, and something like that. So in my head, I'm oh, I don't really like some of Sierra Nevada's hoppy things. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this. This is delicious. It's full-bodied. It is definitely have a lot more malt presence than I guess a lot of the IPAs we normally have on a day-to-day basis. But it's so smooth. Just a smooth beer. I like it. Yeah. It was not a problem at all for me.
Well, now that Jake and I have wet our whistle, we're getting hungry, and it's Taco Tuesday, friends. So we're gonna eat some tacos, and then we're gonna talk about our favorite beers. See you in a bit. All right, guys, so before we get talking about the beer, we just want to showcase these tacos. So Jacob, what kind of tacos do we have here?
Yeah, so we have on this side right here, we got some Nashville hot fish, which is, I guess, the chef's take on Nashville hot chicken. So it's a Nashville hot fish taco. I'm really excited to try it. And on the other side, we got a banh mi steak taco. So if you're unfamiliar with banh mi, you should learn about them because they're fucking delicious. It's a Vietnamese sandwich essentially, so it's a mix of Vietnamese cuisine and French cuisine combined, and this is that using some sort of steak, which I'm assuming is probably seasoned with some Vietnamese flavors. Should be damn delicious because a lot of that food translates very easily to taco form, so I'm excited.
All right, so you pick one, I pick one. And we'll take a bite, talk about it, and then we'll switch.
I am super in the mood for fish because we're right at the beach. We're leaking. We're taking on water.
She's going down, Captain! Cheese and rice.
Woo! The batter on that fish is excellent. It is super crispy.
Oh, it smells good. All right, so I'm trying the banh mi. What's that sandwich place that we always order from? Like you brought it?
Oh, yeah. Banh mi chai kali.
What he said. What he said. It straight up reminds me of like a Vietnamese sandwich.
Nice.
A banh mi.
Yeah.
What I will tell you is there's this. I doubt you're gonna see it, and I'm sure you didn't see it in the picture. Focus. There we go. There we go. There's this like orange spicy sauce in here that is out of this world. The meat is cooked to perfection. All these little toppings. I know some people hate cilantro. I absolutely love cilantro. I could go to town on this damn thing.
I have mixed feelings about it. So I guess I'm in the camp that doesn't really like it. So the hot fish. That first bite, I mainly just got the texture of the battered fish, which was really nice and crispy. The second bite, that's when the heat starts getting you. It's not super hot. I can definitely go a little hotter, but it's now like I can kind of feel it in the back of like my tongue, in the back of my mouth, slowly building. So I imagine by the time I'm done with the taco, you'd have some feelings.
Well, you're sharing some with me, just so you know.
That's true, yeah, so you'll get it. But also, this is definitely a very messy taco. There's a lot of spillage going on. Oh, you can kind of see it in the camera, yeah. There's some accidents happening going on. Just beware. But it's very delicious. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And the toppings definitely go. The slaw, helps with the spice. So if you're the kind of person that doesn't like the spicy food too much, go for the slaw.
But now that we talked about the tacos a little bit, let's go ahead and talk about the beers. So I'll go ahead and start. One thing that really stands out to me here at Helmsman Alehouse is the fact that most of their beers are actually, if not all of them, are under 7%. This is something that I've noticed at quite a few breweries of recent, and I actually really enjoy it. Some people go out to breweries to get wasted. Some people go out to breweries strictly because they love the flavor of beer. And some people, like myself, we do both. So for me, the idea of having so many sessionable beers on their menu, and they're all good. I didn't have one beer I was really disappointed in. That means that I can drink a lot of them and enjoy their deliciousness and also get a delicious buzz going. So that's a win-win for me. Now when it comes to my favorite beer, there were two that were really impressive. Caribbean Night, that porter, was fantastic. Delicious roasted notes. You get a little bit of like a chocolate, a deep chocolate, and then that spice that Jacob was trying to pick up on. That was that Vietnamese cinnamon, and it was just enough. It's more like a garnish than like something that just completely envelops the entire beer.
Yeah.
And with cinnamon, for me, I'm super picky. I've had way too many cinnamon beers where the cinnamon is overwhelming. This was just right. Fantastic. But I gotta say, in a world of hazies, in a world of sours, in a world of barrel-aged stouts, I'm telling you, the West Coast IPA reigns supreme. West Coast offense was definitely my favorite. This was the one that he said was more malt forward. And although, yes, you definitely get some more malts in there than your typical West Coast IPA, the hop bill is perfection, man. It's just the right amount of bitterness, just the right amount of dankness. You get some delicious, like, just flavor and aromatics out of the hops, and it's super sessionable. So, chills.
And I gotta join in and say it. I got the same thing. To me, this tastes like someone who maybe started drinking some of those OG IPAs like Sierra Nevada, like the Old Stone, but kind of is a bit newer in that way of thinking, because the bitterness doesn't like destroy your palate. It has a lot of the great things that you might like from those old school IPAs, but it brings to the table, I think, a modern way of using hops. So it's kind of like a new school, old school. I don't know, I really liked it, and I think for me, I was most surprised that I liked it so much. Because normally when I have those kinds of IPAs, I'm not that into them. And this one I did, I liked it a lot. I'm gonna gladly finish that pint, and there'll be no complaints out of me. Also, okay, the Bun May one I think might be my winner of the tacos, mainly because, yeah, you're right, that sauce is fucking delicious.
It's really good,
It's
and
really
it's
good.
spicy, and it's,
And there's just something about it that just like, I just kind of want to drink the sauce. It's probably terrible for me. I shouldn't do it, but I want to. Yeah, so there's some really good food, and this beer, I think a lot of the beers are definitely designed to just beer and food.
beer and food.
Yeah. You gotta do the one too. Alright, so that's going to do it for us at Helmsman Alehouse. We've had some delicious beer paired with some really tasty food. I definitely got to say, if you come here, you can't just get the beer and you can't just get the food. You got to get both.
Yep.
Because, goddamn, they were just really good together, and they're both very tasty things, so get both. That's my advice to y'all.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Dylan, for the hospitality.
Yeah.
It was really cool actually seeing you go through a brew process while you were hanging out with us. Learning about what you have in the works as well was super exciting. And then just trying the beer that you make is also very, very fun, especially because it's delicious. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share with your friends. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate the support. It helps us make more episodes like this one. And until next time, we'll see you again on Let's Have Some Beer. Cheers. I'm a stripper.
Yeah.
Stripper.
Okay.
Stripper for coins.
Yeah.
I'm a stripper for money.